Have you ever noticed a woman your age take a tiny step sideways before sitting down? Or maybe you've felt that moment yourself, a small wobble, a quiet loss of steadiness that makes you reach for the armrest. It's such a brief instant, but it can linger in the mind. Not because of weakness, not because of age itself, but because of the tiny habits that slowly shape how secure we feel in our own body. I've seen it many times, women in their 60s, 70s, even 80s who still have bright eyes and strong hearts, yet begin to doubt their balance. They walk a little slower, hold the railing a bit tighter, and quietly wonder, is this just how life goes from here? The truth is, losing balance isn't inevitable. It's not a sentence you must accept. There are gentle, practical steps that can help you feel steady, confident, and free again. Steps that protect not just your body, but your independence and dignity. Today we'll explore 6 small mistakes that nearly every older woman makes without realizing it. Mistakes that quietly erode stability over time. But together we'll also uncover how to reverse them safely and simply so you can move with grace and trust in your own strength once more. Before we begin, tell me where you're watching from, your city, your country. I read every single comment, and it warms my heart to know where our community is gathered. And if you believe that confidence and vitality don't fade with age, please subscribe to Life in Words. Let's walk this path of renewal together. Now let's begin with the very first step, one that starts right beneath your feet. Mistake number 1, wearing the wrong shoes. Let's start where every step begins, your feet. They carry your entire world, yet we rarely stop to think about how much they change with time. I once met Deborah, a 69-year-old retired librarian from Kansas City. She was graceful, thoughtful, and loved moving around her home barefoot or in her favorite soft slippers. They've been with me for years, she told me with a smile, like old friends. One afternoon while crossing her living room, the tip of her shoe caught the edge of a rug. She stumbled, not a hard fall, but enough to make her heart race. She sat for a moment on the floor, shaken, realizing that those old friends might no longer be serving her the way they used to. Our feet change as we age. The arches flatten, the natural padding under the heel thins, and the tiny joints that once acted like shock absorbers become stiffer. When that happens, the shoes that once felt comfortable can suddenly become risky. Soft slippers, worn-out sneakers, or thin ballet flats might feel cozy, but they don't offer the firm support that aging feet quietly beg for. And without that support, every small step becomes a gamble, especially on smooth floors or thick carpets. Deborah decided to make one small change. She visited a local shop and tried on a pair of shoes with a firm sole, a slip-resistant grip, and light ankle support. At first, she said it felt strange, almost like walking on new ground. But within a few days, something remarkable happened. Her steps felt steadier. She stopped clinging to furniture. The quiet fear that had been sitting in her chest began to fade. The truth is, wearing supportive shoes is not about vanity or surrender. It's an act of care. A simple way of saying to yourself, I deserve to move through the world safely and confidently. Modern supportive shoes don't shout weakness. They whisper self-respect. They say, I'm looking out for myself. So take a gentle look at your own footwear today. Are they truly supporting your feet or just familiar from years gone by? Check the soles. Feel the grip. Notice if they hold your heel firmly or let it slide. If your shoes are soft, flat, or worn thin, maybe it's time for an update, not because you're old, but because you're wise enough to choose safety over habit. One small change, one thoughtful pair of shoes can help you prevent a fall, protect your independence, and bring confidence back to every step you take. And the most beautiful part, your feet will thank you, and so will your future. Now let's move to another habit that seems unrelated to balance, but quietly defines it from within: the strength you build or the strength you let fade. Mistake number 2, skipping strength training. Many people think strength training belongs to the young, to the ones in gyms wearing bright sneakers and counting repetitions. But muscle doesn't care how old you are. It only cares whether you use it or not. I remember meeting Joanne, 73, from Sacramento. She had always been active, walking her dog, tending her garden, keeping her home in perfect order. But one morning she tried to get up from a low chair and found herself pressing hard on the armrests, pushing with both hands just to stand. She froze for a moment, confused. Her heart whispered, "When did this become difficult?" That's how muscle loss begins quietly without announcement. After the age of 50, the average woman loses up to 1% of muscle each year. Doesn't happen overnight. It sneaks in little by little through long hours of sitting gentle days without lifting and routines that no longer challenge the body. The result, legs that tremble on stairs, arms that tire too quickly, and a balance that feels just a little less sure each season. The science is simple. Muscles are like trust. If you don't invest in them, they fade. Strong muscles don't just make you look fit. They protect your joints, stabilize your spine, and act like an internal armor against falls. When your muscles weaken, your balance goes with them. Joanne decided to begin not at the gym but at home. 2 light hand weights, a sturdy chair, and 15 quiet minutes each morning. She started with gentle wall push-ups, chair squats, and lifting her heels off the floor while holding the back of a chair. No rush, no pain, just presence. Within 2 weeks, she noticed that her movements felt lighter. By the end of a month, she could rise from that same low chair with ease. What changed wasn't only her muscles, it was her confidence. She said to me, "I used to be afraid of falling. Now I feel like I can catch myself." That's the heart of strength training after 60. It's not about vanity or chasing youth. It's about protecting your freedom, the freedom to stand tall, to reach for what you love, and to move without hesitation. If it's been a while since you lifted anything heavier than a purse, start today. Pick up 2 small water bottles and let them become your first weights. Set aside 10 minutes for your body each morning, time that belongs only to you. Every repetition is a message to your muscles saying, "I still need you." You don't need to move fast. You just need to move with intention. Because the more strength you build, the steadier you become, not only in your body, but in your spirit. And remember, it's never too late to begin. Strength training doesn't take away your freedom, it gives it back. Now let's turn to something most people completely overlook, a quiet sense that guides every step we take, even before our feet touch the floor, our vision. Mistake number 3, ignoring vision changes. Most people think balance lives only in their legs, but the truth is, it begins in the eyes. Your vision quietly teaches your body how to move, how to react, and how to stay safe. I met Barbara, a 70-year-old from Phoenix, who had always believed her eyesight was fine. She could still read her favorite books and watch her mystery shows at night. She told me, "I can see well enough. I just move slower in the dark." One evening, she got up quietly to use the bathroom, not wanting to wake her husband. She didn't turn on the light. Her eyes hadn't adjusted yet, and in a blink, her foot caught the edge of a rug. She fell to her knees. The bruise healed quickly, but the fear stayed much longer. The next morning, Barbara made an appointment with her eye doctor, her first in over 5 years. When the results came, the story was clear. Her glasses were outdated, her peripheral vision had narrowed, and her ability to see in low light had dropped more than she realized. Here's the gentle science behind it. As we age, the lenses in our eyes stiffen and cloud. The pupils react more slowly to changes in light. Even small declines in sharpness can affect how we judge distance or spot hazards. And when the world looks slightly dimmer or blurrier, our brain needs more time to react. That extra half second, the one you never notice, is often what makes the difference between catching yourself and falling. Barbara's new glasses had anti-glare lenses and better indoor contrast. She also added small lights in her hallway and beside the bathroom door. Within days, she told me she felt like her home had opened up again. "I can finally see the corners," she said with a laugh. It wasn't just her vision that improved, it was her confidence. If you haven't had your eyes checked in the past 2 years, let this be your reminder. Schedule that appointment. Keep your glasses clean. Replace scratched lenses. Add a nightlight in dark spaces. It's not about fear, it's about foresight. Clear vision means more than reading fine print. It means moving through your home and through your day with safety and grace. And perhaps most importantly, it means trusting that the world around you is still vivid, still yours to explore. Now let's move on to another hidden factor, one that begins not in your eyes or your legs, but deep within your daily routine, the medicines you take. Mistake number 4, not paying attention to medication side effects. Sometimes the reason you feel unsteady doesn't come from your legs at all. It begins quietly inside a small bottle on your nightstand. I once met Gloria, 74, from Chicago. She was organized, careful, and proud of how she managed her health. Every Sunday, she filled her pill box for the week, labeling each section with precision. Her friends often said, if anyone has their life together, it's Gloria. But one morning as she stood from her sofa, a sudden wave of dizziness made her grab the edge of the table. She brushed it off, thinking it was hunger or fatigue. A few days later, it happened again, stronger this time. She stumbled into her kitchen counter and sat down, frightened and confused. That's when she took a closer look at her new prescription bottle. Right there on the label in small letters it read, "May cause dizziness or loss of balance." Gloria had just started a new blood pressure medication 2 weeks earlier. It was working, but it was also quietly shifting how her body felt. As we grow older, our metabolism slows. The same dose that once felt safe at 50 can act much stronger at 70. When several medications are combined, even over-the-counter pills or supplements, their effects can overlap. Drowsiness, fatigue, lightheadedness, all small sensations that can add up to one dangerous moment. I always remind my patients every medicine tells a story, and your body is part of that story. If you listen carefully, it will whisper clues: a faster heartbeat, a spinning head, a subtle tremor. These aren't signs of weakness. They're messages asking for attention. Gloria decided to write everything down, every pill, vitamin, and supplement she was taking. She brought the list to her doctor. Together, they adjusted the timing of one medication, lowered the dose of another, and removed a supplement that was no longer needed. Within days, her dizziness eased. She told me, I didn't just feel steadier, I felt respected by my own body again. Here's the simple truth: managing your medication is not about distrust, it's about partnership. It's about being an active part of your own care. You have every right to ask questions, to understand what you're taking, and to request changes if something doesn't feel right. So take a gentle inventory today. List your medications, bring them to your next appointment. Ask, could any of these affect my balance or energy? A 5-minute conversation could prevent a fall, a fracture, or weeks of fear. Your body is wise, it's always communicating. And when you learn to listen, you begin to build not only safety, but trust, the kind that helps you stand tall, steady, and confident. Now let's move to another common habit, one that hides behind pride and independence, yet quietly increases the risk of falling, holding onto furniture instead of using real support. Mistake number 5, relying on furniture instead of using a cane. There's a quiet kind of pride that many older women carry. It's the belief that asking for help or using support means giving something up. But sometimes that pride can place us right in harm's way. I met Janet, 76, from Denver. She was independent spirited and had lived alone for more than a decade. Her home was filled with plants and laughter from friends who visited often. But when it came to her balance, she had a rule: no canes, no walkers, no sign of weakness. If I ever need one, she told me, that's when I'll know I'm old. So instead, she reached for walls, the backs of chairs, or the edge of a table whenever she felt unsure. She called it just being careful. Until one afternoon, while carrying a basket of laundry, she tripped over a rug. Both hands were full, no table, no chair, no wall close enough to catch her. She didn't fall completely, but the shock of that near miss stayed with her for days. She told me later, the wall wasn't there when I needed it most. Here's what most people don't realize. Holding on to furniture gives a false sense of control. It doesn't move the way your body moves. It can't steady you in the middle of a hallway or at the edge of a curb. And the science is simple: when you rely on unstable support, your brain never fully practices balance. You train hesitation instead of stability. After that close call, Janet decided to try something new. She bought a cane, not the plain metal one she pictured in her mind, but a lightweight floral cane with a soft grip that fit her hand perfectly. When she first used it, she said it felt strange, almost like a confession. But within a week, something shifted. She felt stronger, not weaker. The cane gave her freedom to walk anywhere without scanning for walls or tables. She no longer had to pretend she was fine. She truly was. Choosing a cane is not about surrendering independence. It's about protecting it. It's a sign of wisdom, not weakness. A cane doesn't take away your dignity, it preserves it. It lets you walk with confidence, your head high, your pace, steady, your life still very much your own. If you've ever caught yourself holding on to furniture to stay upright, take a moment to think, would a simple tool give you more peace of mind? There's no shame in choosing safety. In fact, it's one of the bravest things you can do. So when you reach for something next time, let it be a cane that was made for you, beautiful, supportive, and strong. Because every step you take with security is a step toward freedom. Now let's move to our final part, perhaps the most important one of all, the simple daily practice that can restore balance and confidence no matter your age. Mistake number 6, avoiding balance exercises. Some people think balance is something you either have or you don't. But balance isn't luck. It's a skill, one that can fade when neglected and return when practiced with care. I once met Elaine, a 70-year-old woman living alone in Seattle. She still cooked her own meals, tended her little garden, and loved dancing to her old jazz records. From the outside, everything looked perfectly fine. But lately she had noticed something subtle, a hesitation on the stairs, a quick reach for the wall when stepping into the shower, a faint worry she couldn't quite name. One day her daughter invited her to join a local wellness class for seniors. Elaine laughed. I'm not the exercise type, but she went anyway, mostly for company. During that class, the instructor, a woman her age, asked everyone to try standing on one leg for 10 seconds. Elaine smiled, lifted her foot, and lasted 5 seconds before tipping to the side. The whole room laughed gently, and she laughed too, but deep down she felt a quiet truth settle in. Something has changed. That evening, she looked up simple balance exercises for older adults. She found a few that didn't require equipment or a gym, just a chair and a bit of courage. The next morning she began. 5 minutes, nothing more. Standing on one leg beside a chair, walking heel to toe across the living room, shifting her weight slowly from side to side. The science is beautiful in its simplicity. Balance relies on the cooperation of 3 systems: vision, inner ear, and muscle memory. As we age, these systems slow down, but they can be retrained. Even short, gentle practice reawakens the neural pathways that tell your body how to steady itself. It's like teaching your body the language of trust again. After 2 weeks, Elaine noticed a quiet change. Her movements felt more fluid. She no longer gripped the walls when walking down the hallway. And one morning, while listening to her favorite song, she began to sway, then dance freely barefoot in her kitchen. Her laughter filled the room. It wasn't just balance returning, it was joy. If you've never tried a balance exercise before, start small. Stand near a chair or counter. Hold for 5 seconds on one foot, then switch. Walk heel to toe once or twice a day. Or simply practice standing tall with your shoulders open and your breath calm. Every tiny effort adds a layer of stability. Remember, you're not too old to regain your balance. You're simply ready to reconnect with it. Don't wait for a fall to start caring about your steadiness. Make balance a part of your daily rhythm, as natural as brushing your teeth. Because the steadier you feel, the more confident you move. And the more confident you move, the freer your life becomes. Now let's take a gentle moment to bring everything together to see how these 6 small changes can rewrite the way you walk, live, and feel every single day. Conclusion. A fall isn't just the moment your body meets the ground. It's everything that comes after: the hesitation, the loss of confidence, the quiet fear that creeps into everyday life. But the good news is, none of it is permanent. Every one of the 6 mistakes we talked about — the wrong shoes, skipping strength training, ignoring vision changes, overlooking medication, side effects, relying on furniture, and avoiding balance practice — they are not signs of decline. They are invitations to awareness. They are gentle reminders that your body still listens, still learns, still responds to care. You can begin with one small act today. Change a pair of shoes. Take a slow walk while lifting your heels. Schedule that eye appointment. Ask your doctor about your prescriptions. Hold a cane with pride. Or stand quietly for 10 seconds on one leg. Each of these moments, though simple, speaks to something much larger: the decision to protect your freedom and your dignity. Getting older doesn't mean fading away. It means refining, becoming wiser, clearer, and more intentional with how you live. You've carried your body through every season of your life. Now it's your turn to care for it with gentleness and gratitude. If you found this conversation helpful, give it a like, share it with someone you love, and subscribe to Life in Words. Together, we are building a community of strength, kindness, and wisdom, a space where aging is not something to fear, but something to live fully. And always remember this, your body is not a burden, it is your home. Treat it with love, and it will carry you with grace for many years to come.